Alright guys, so now that we have the layout integrated, it's time to start to pull data from the database from Cassandra. Alright, so we're going to start with opening the app.js file. And before we do anything, we should include the rest of our modules. Alright, so we're going to have a variable session. And we need to require the express session module. Alright, I might as well just copy this. Okay, next we'll have the express, actually I'm sorry, we'll have the flash. And that's going to be the connect flash module. Alright, next is going to be the Cassandra module. We're going to give it a variable called Cassandra. And then this is going to say Cassandra driver. Alright, so that looks good. And then down here, let's first implement the sessions. Okay, the middleware for the sessions. And let's see, that's going to be app.use. And we're going to put in session, session, and it needs a secret, which can be anything at all. I'm just going to put in secret. Alright, we also want save uninitialized. Did I spell that right? Initialized. And that'll be true. And also resave. And you don't have to really worry about what this stuff does. It's just the middleware. Sessions need it to run properly. Okay, so next we'll do the flash. So we want to say app.use. And we're going to say flash. And then we're going to say app.use function. Okay, the function is going to take in request, response, and next. Alright, and then inside here we want to say res.locals.messages. Remember when we put that little messages placeholder in our template, it got messed up and gave us an error. That's because this wasn't defined. Okay, we're going to just set this to require the sessions module. Okay, so we're going to say express messages, and then we just want to parentheses here, and we're going to say request response. And then finally we're just going to call next. Alright, so that should take care of the flash messages that we want to use. Now, to use our database, we need to define a client and a connection string. So we're going to go, let's go right under the app variable here, and we're going to create a new variable called client. And that's going to be set to new Cassandra.client. Alright, and then in here we need this object, and we need to write in contact points. And this is where we're going to define our IP. So it's going to be the local loopback of 127.0.0.1. Alright, and then we're going to say client.connect, and then here we're going to pass in a function. Alright, and this function will get an error and result. Alright, so that'll connect, and then we'll just console log a connection message. Alright, so we'll just say Cassandra connected. Okay, so we'll save that. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to get a list of doctors when we go to browse doctors. All right, I want these to come from the database. So what we need to do is go to the route file for doctors, and we're going to be working with this route, which is just /doctors. All right, but before we do that, we have to actually, first of all, include Cassandra in this file. And then we need to get the client. So we're going to copy this. All right, now we should be able to use the database. And this is actually really easy, especially if you know SQL. All right, so we need to create a variable called query, or whatever you want to call it. You can be more specific, but I'm just going to call it query for each call. And we're going to say select all from FindaDoc doctors where, actually, you know what, we're not going to put a where yet. We just want to select all doctors. Okay, now to run this, we want to say client.execute. All right, and we're going to execute the query, and we're going to pass in just an empty set of brackets for now, because this is where you would put your conditions, but since we're just getting all doctors, we don't have any. All right, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to do a callback. All right, and this will take an error and result. Actually, we'll say results. All right, and we'll check for an error first. Okay, so if there's an error, then I want to set a response, and then set the status to 404. All right, and then we're just going to send the message. Whoops. Okay, so we'll send an object with a message, and that will be the error. All right, so else, if there isn't an error, then we want to render the doctor's view. Okay, so I'm going to just grab this, cut it, and paste it here. Okay, except we want to add in another, we want to pass in the object, and we're going to send in doctors, which will equal our results rows. All right, so the results we get from this query, we're passing into this view with this. All right, so let's try that out. Okay, so right now, if we open up our view, if we go to, this is actually the doctor's view. It's just static content here. What I want to do is make a loop and loop through the rows and then output the information. So I'm going to get rid of these last two LIs, and I'm going to surround this one in a loop. So let's first check for doctors. All right, so we'll say if doctors are not equal to false, then we're going to do this. And then down here, we're going to say else. It will be a paragraph, and we'll say sorry, no doctors listed. All right, now if there are doctors, I'm going to do a space here to indent. We're going to say each doctor in I in doctors. Okay, so that's an each loop. Then we want to spit out the list item. Okay, these need to be indented correctly or they won't work. Should be all spaces or all tabs. All right, so let's just see if this works. What's this? Unexpected number. What? 0.0.1. What, did I do something there? Contact points. Oh, this should have commas. I mean commas. Quotes. Same thing here. Alright, so we have another error. Unexpected token, app.use session. Did I mess that up? Yeah, alright, so this session, this should actually be like that. And then at the end here, should have 2 parentheses. Alright, so we have another error. Oh, looks like I did the same thing with the flash. This shouldn't be in here. These parameters should be in the function right here. And then app.use_flash should just be like this. Alright, and then down here, this should be gone. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Alright, so let's see if that works. There we go. Alright, so you can see Cassandra connected, so we are connected. And if we go to Browse Doctors, now it's giving us 2 listings, which is good because we know that we put 2 doctors in the database. It's just still static content, so we need to update that. Okay, so in the views, we want to update this with dynamic content. So for the name, full name, okay, we'll just do full name. Okay, let's see if that changes it. Alright, so that didn't. Okay, so we have to do doctor.fullname. There we go. So now we're getting the names from the database. So let's do that with the rest of the values. Okay, so this one here will be doctor.category. Alright, and then we'll do city, state, and this will be zip. Alright, and then for the link here, the ID right here, we're going to put in doc_ID.